Hi, this is Brian Codes, and I'm Brian Beck, and I decided to create a human factor analyzer. Human factor, as you can see by this Google definition, is how we can make technology more ergonomic so that when we control stuff with technology, it's faster and we don't have to think so much. So in this case, I use the example of an airplane and a takeoff and landing procedure. It has a bunch of steps that you got to do for takeoff and a bunch of steps that you got to do for landing. Are we able to click the controls fast enough? Are we thinking about it too much when we click the controls? It'll show us how long we took, if we made a mistake, and it'll give us advice on how to improve the ergonomic feature. Maybe we're supposed to lump all this stuff together or not. So let's just take a quick look at some of the code here. So this is the cockpit analyzer, and this is of course takeoff, our checklist. So our takeoff has about 16 tasks, and our landing has about 12 tasks. So it's not too much code, but at the same time, there's quite a bit of different sections of code because we had to connect to something called Streamlit, which is a browser-based kind of UI, UX development tool type of deal. And connecting that with my old text-to-speech AI, which is Mistral again, was a little bit tough. But since I had the text-to-speech already available, it was just tweaking little parts and pieces there. Let's go ahead and take a look here. If I can, I might have to restart real quick. And then get into this, so I can get into this, and we start up the
Human Factors Analyzer ready.
Human Factors Analyzer ready.
There are some
Scenario
errors.
Selected. Takeoff.
It's not perfect, but
Takeoff.
at
First
least
step, 1 parking brake set.
First step, one
we'll show how it
parking
goes.
brake set.
So here are the controls. It's just a bunch of buttons. I didn't have a lot of time to work on the graphics setting where we can have a lever pushing up and down, or switches and buttons and sounds and colors. But we can imagine that. And we grouped it into 3 major sections: the core system section, the flight control section, and the lights and the comm section. So we want to see, are these sections enough, or do we have to move things around, make the buttons bigger, make the labelings bigger, and all that other fun stuff. So let's just go ahead and give it a try, and let's start. So it says parking brake set first.
Fuel pumps on.
Fuel pumps.
Fuel
on.
pumps on. So it's speaking kind of like New Yorkie. Fuel pumps.
Beacon light on.
Beacon light.
Beacon light, where are you? Lights, in lights area.
Engine start switches on.
Engine should be
start
over
switches
here.
on.
Engine levers idle.
Engine should be in
Engine
the core
levers,
systems.
Start engine 1.
Start engine 1.
Start engine 1.
Monitor engine 1 stable.
And I didn't have any levers to show how stable it was,
Start
which I
engine
want
2.
to do. But this was just kind of a quick.
Monitor engine 2 stable.
Monitor
We turn on engine 2, monitor it.
Set and confirm flaps 15 deg.
Set
Flaps is in
confirm
flight
flaps,
controls.
15
Did it
deg.
say 15 degrees? Confirm flaps.
Flight controls check.
Check flight controls. Good to go.
Taxi lights on.
Lights are in the
Taxi
light
lights
section.
on.
Set and confirm throttle.
Throttle
40%.
is
Set
control
and confirm
section,
throttle,
40%. Uh-oh.
Parking brake release.
Parking brake release. Let's go ahead and make a mistake here.
Incorrect action.
Parking brake armed.
Incorrect action.
Now we go to find the
Incorrect
actual
action.
parking brake release. And I'm going to have to find this one, and we're going to have to fix this one for sure. What?
Incorrect action.
Parking brake. Yeah.
Landing
Nah,
lights
should not
on.
be there.
Landing lights.
What'd you
on.
say? Landing lights on.
Takeoff clearance confirm.
Alright, so we're good to go for takeoff.
Checklist complete.
Alright.
Checklist.
We made some mistakes, some on purpose and some because the buttons probably could be in a better place. Let's analyze it.
Starting AI analysis.
Okay.
Analysis complete.
We can't listen to the whole thing, but we can listen to a little bit. I didn't set it up to speak the whole way.
Analysis complete. Potential human factors issues.
Potential
Procedural
human factor
deviations.
issues.
The user incorrectly set the speed brake armed and auto brake, which are not part of the
Oops.
takeoff checklist sequence.
Which are not
Whoops.
part of the
Delay
takeoff
between
checklist
related
sequence.
steps. A significant delay, 14.5
Oh,
degrees,
God.
occurred before the user confirmed the flaps at 15 degrees,
Oh, come on.
suggesting confusion or difficulty locating this
Suggesting
control.
confusion or difficulty
Repeated
locating
errors
this
on
control.
specific steps.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
user
yeah.
made 2 errors in setting the engine levers to idle.
Goodness gracious, I did. Overall task completion time 143 seconds. That's quite a bit of time. And then it goes on how we can recommend it. We can group the engine controls together. We can improve feedback mechanism for engine lever. We can consider rendering steps that involve similar controls, which we kind of did, but it's true. You can have 6 categories instead of 3 categories. We can consider reordering the steps. We can immediately, after setting, might help improve efficacy and error returns. Let's take a look at landing.
Scenario selected. Landing. First step, 1 approach briefing complete.
First step, 1 approach briefing.
First one is approach briefing complete.
Seatbelt sign ON.
Seatbelt sign on.
Landing lights ON.
Landing lights is in the light section.
Set and confirm flaps 10 deg.
10 degrees.
Gear DOWN.
Gear down. There should be a gear up too.
Monitor gear down indication.
Monitor gear.
Down indication.
Set and confirm flaps 30 deg.
30 degrees
Set and
flaps.
confirm flaps 30 deg.
Speed brake lever armed.
Speed brake. There it is. This one's good. Flight controls are in a good
Set and
place.
confirm throttle. Tilde 25%.
25% throttle.
Landing clearance confirm.
Landing clearance confirmed.
Stabilizer trim set.
Stabilizer trim.
set.
Auto brake set.
This one I feel like it's good to go.
Checklist complete.
Landing had
Checklist complete.
just flowed easier. Yes, there was like 30% less tasks.
Starting AI analysis.
What you got, AI?
Analysis complete.
All right, let's listen to parts of it.
Analysis complete. Potential human factors issues. Several delays between steps exceed 5-10 seconds, suggesting potential difficulty finding relevant controls,
Okay.
e.g., between steps 3 and 4,
I did pretty
step
good.
6 and step 7, step 8 and step 9.
Okay.
The overall task completion time of 65.5
It's a minute. It took a
for
minute.
12-step sequence suggests a relatively high cognitive workload or process inefficiency.
Yeah, oh my God.
2.
Or process inefficiency.
Basically, there's no baseline. So if we had a set baseline of what the most efficient person could do, we would compare based on that baseline. But it's comparing on the fastest without a baseline. So there's that. Improve interface clarity, group related controls together. Again, we had that previously as well, which I agree. We should have more categories. Simplify procedure ordering. So they're just saying, hey, divide the task a little bit better. Maybe make it shorter and then have a little bit more tasks so it's a little bit more easy to flow. Enhance feedback mechanisms. Provide clearer feedback when control reaches the target setting. And I also think that when we're over here with flight controls, there should be some type of numbers here, like 5, 10, 15, 20, so we can click it a little bit faster. And have 6 categories here separated so we can see it a little bit easier. It's just light, calm. Lights and calm should be 2 different categories, for goodness sakes. Alright, so that's kind of the human factor AI analyzer here, and obviously there's a ton more of applications it can do besides this pseudo flight simulator, if you will, but that's overall the gist of it. Thank you very much.